Hey everyone, COE33 here. I'm in the upstairs game room, the retro room. Looks like Oscar's coming to join us, of course. And this is part two of a three-part series. If you saw part one, you know that we've got lots of upgrades and projects going on in the upstairs game room. And speaking of which, here's the big one. So the pinball machine is no longer here. It's in the garage now, so I got that moved without any issues. And it actually looks pretty cool in the garage, so I'm very happy about that. And now it's time to start piecing together the virtual pinball machine. And a couple things have arrived, and I've picked up a couple components. And why don't we share that? So, the back glass monitor is going to be this HP 32-inch monitor, and it's a full HD 1080p, and it's got an IPS panel, so that's great. And I think that's going to work really well. It's going to be a good monitor, especially for the back glass. Now, I didn't go for 4K for the back glass because that was totally unnecessary. The 4K monitor will be for the playfield, where that extra resolution will actually make a difference. And then I've got some stuff from Amazon. Those are basically mounting kits and stuff, a few extra little parts that I'm gonna need for this build. And I have more stuff on the way. And then we've got what is it, a red LED light strip. And that's actually the one that I had on the underside of the pinball machine that was up here before. So I'm going to have that lighting up the bottom of the pinball machine and the back of the pinball machine. So it's just like this Mortal Kombat cabinet, and it matches and it has the red LEDs. So that'll be cool. And then a power strip, which I'll plug everything into. So I'm waiting for the 4K monitor. I'm waiting for the speaker system with the subwoofer. And I'm waiting for, of course, the actual cabinet, which that's probably going to take a while. I actually got an email from them today saying that because of my custom graphic request, there's going to be up to a 2 week wait period. So I guess I'm going to have to be extra patient with that, which is kind of a bummer. But the 4K monitor is arriving tomorrow, so that's good. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to set everything up and get the monitors all set up the way I want. And I'll bring the PC up here and I'll just start kind of configuring things and dinking around with it over the next couple weeks so that when the cabinet does come, I can just throw the PC and the monitors into the cab. Everything will be set up, and voila, one virtual pinball machine. So that's going to be awesome. And one of the reasons I went this route is because I actually am going to save some money on the PC because I already have a very beefy gaming PC that I built about a year and a half ago. And I actually built that for the living room so that I can play PC games out in the living room on the couch. But it's actually way overkill for the 1080p panel that I have in the living room. And I've never come even close to maxing out the 1080 Ti graphics card that I have in there. So I'm going to bring up, and actually is perfect because it's a small form factor build. So I'm going to bring that PC up here. It'll fit right into the body of the pinball machine, and that 1080 Ti is going to be ideal for what I want to do. So I should, fingers crossed, be able to play all these pinball games maxed out, full resolution, all the graphical settings, ultra, I'm hoping. And it shouldn't be a problem because I actually have a good processor in there. It's a great graphics card, and it should be pretty speedy too because everything's running off of M.2 SSD. So very excited about that. I'll actually be able to utilize that computer better than I have been. And I can still play PC games on the living room TV. It's actually pretty easy. I just have to take this long HDMI cable I have and go from the PC in my office to the TV in the living room. And it sounds kind of like a pain in the butt, but it's really not too bad. And the PC that I have in my office, or in the downstairs game room, I should say, is actually more than adequate to do the job. So that's great. And I went ahead and got that arcade sign up on the wall. So that's very cool. And iCade needs a charge, so it's not on right now, but I do have Mortal Kombat 3 going here. So that's awesome. And I also got a phone call from the framers saying that they are working on the piece that I gave to them, but they had ordered a special matting for it and it arrived damaged, so they had to reorder it. And they're saying it should just be a couple more days and I'll have that. So some delays, but that's to be expected. And, patience is a virtue, one that I don't always have, but I'll, I'll try to do my best. And I'm pretty excited about this virtual pinball project, so hopefully it won't take too long. Oh, and by the way, there's the 3D printed Atari sign now on the Atari shelf, so that's pretty awesome. So I think what I'm going to do now is unbox this monitor and bring up the PC and just kind of start the process of getting things together and plugged in and go from there. All right, I moved the PC up here and set up the back glass monitor, and I'm really happy with the monitor. The picture on it's great and has a really nice viewing angle, so no matter which direction you're looking at it from, you can see the picture clearly. So I'm really happy with that. That was definitely a good purchase. And this PC is going to be perfect for this project. So I've got it this far. Now tomorrow the Samsung 4K monitor will be here, and I'll go ahead and set that up here. And then when the DMD gets here, I can start installing software and front ends and all that. So that'll be very exciting. But now I just have to wait for more things to arrive. All right, guys, check it out. The 40-inch playfield TV arrived. And guys, I am really happy with this TV. It's a 4K Samsung with HDR and 120 hertz, and the picture quality on it is so good. I mean, I haven't had a 4K TV before. This is my first one. And what a difference. It's amazing. I really love it. All the details in the playfield are super crisp and clear, and I just think it looks great, and it plays really good too. Having that 120 hertz is really nice because the motion is very good. And I'm getting everything kind of set up, waiting for the cabinet to arrive. I also, on top of the monitor, I got the stereo system. So I got this, there's these two satellite speakers here, a little control box with volume control, bass control, and inputs for headphones. And then it comes with the subwoofer here. And I'm really happy with that as well. It sounds great. So that's good. And I'm waiting for the dot matrix display to arrive. And once that arrives, I'll go ahead and hook that up. I believe I hook it into the power supply of the PC, and then the USB controls the image. That's my understanding. And once that arrives, I'll go ahead and configure Visual Pinball 10, and I'll probably get the Jurassic Park table hooked up and configured and all the artwork dialed in. And after I've got that dialed in, I'll probably install Pinup Popper as my front end. And from what I've seen, that's a really good front end. And then it's basically just waiting for the pinball cabinet to arrive. So yeah, very exciting. And yeah, I've been sitting here playing a little pinball. Here, I'll fire it up just so you can kind of see and hear it. And I'm one-handed, so I won't be able to play very well. So there we go. Launch the ball. I only can control one flipper at the moment, so it's not easy to play. But yeah, you get the idea. So very awesome. And yeah, so hopefully tomorrow the dot matrix display will be here and I'll give you another update. All right, quite a few days have passed, and check it out. I got the dot matrix display in the mail, and that's awesome. It's a color DMD, and I love it. I mean, what a difference it makes. Very cool. I also installed a bunch of tables and got all those configured and set up, so that's awesome. And then I installed a front end. I installed Pinball X as the front end, and I got everything kind of dialed in there, and that's really cool. So you can basically use the flippers to go through the different tables that I have installed. So I've got Jurassic Park all dialed in, so that's awesome. I've got this Night of the Living Dead table, which is really cool. It's probably my favorite table actually I've downloaded so far. It's a old school table with a new school twist, so I quite like that. And then the Phantom of the Opera. This was Leaf's first pick. She really likes this play, and it's actually a really good table, so that's cool. And then we got The Walking Dead, and then The Walking Dead has this really cool heads in a fish tank with bubbles back glass, so that's awesome. And then we've got Dirty Harry, of course, because I love my old school 80s action. And then we've got this custom table. It's a Greedo's Cantina based off of Star Wars, and that's very cool. All these tables that I've downloaded so far are awesome. This is the 2008 Indiana Jones And I may download the I think it's 94 or 93, the Williams Indiana Jones table as well, because I quite like that one. That's the one I used to play back in the day. This one's cool. It's got an interesting multi-ball feature, but I think I prefer the older one even better. And then back to Jurassic Park there. So 7 tables hooked up so far. Very cool. Everything's running really well. And I tell you, this has been a project. This is not for the faint of heart. I mean, getting all this set up and dialed in and working smooth and getting all the art where it goes and adjusting all the settings and getting everything just right is quite the undertaking. I wouldn't say it's user friendly, but that's okay. It's kind of fun. And there's lots of cool little extras, like there's instructions for the games. You download like the flyers, and then you can flip through the old, the flyers that came with the pinball machines. So that's cool. And then you basically, some of the tables have like instructions, so on how to play the game. You get some information there, so that's cool. It tells you some stats about the game. There's, custom lists that you can make, so you can flip, if you have a lot of tables, you can go ahead and get to the tables easier. It's got, like your most played, recently added 80s, 90s, modern tables, Bally tables, so on, so on. So that's cool. And yeah, it's awesome. Everything's in, looking great, running in 4K. Real easy to load up a table. You got a little loading screen here. And it takes about, probably a good 10 seconds, sometimes about 15 seconds to load a table. So I wouldn't say it's lightning fast. I knew that going into using Pinball X as my front end, that was one of the downsides. Basically, Pinball X and Pinup Popper are the two most commonly used choices. Now, that actually wasn't too bad. That was pretty fast, I thought. So I went with Pinball X because it's a little more user-friendly. Pinup Popper I was thinking about using, and it turned out to be really convoluted. At least for me, I found it to be really not user-friendly, and there was a lot of things I had to install that I really didn't have interest in installing. I'm not going to probably do, like a DOF links is a system you use for like force feedback and stuff, and people that install solenoids and addressable LEDs and all that stuff on their tables. While cool, I'm not going to do that on this table. I actually find those addressable LEDs to be a little bit much and a little distracting for my personal taste. I think it's cool that people do it, and definitely to each their own, but it's not something that I'm interested in doing on this table. Now, who knows? Time may change. You never know. I could say that, and then 5 years down the road or whatever, I get a wild hair and I decide to do that. Who knows? The feedback is interesting with the solenoids and stuff, and the knockers and the chimes. That's kind of interesting, so that may be something down the road. I don't know. But there's lots of options you can do with these tables. But I'm really happy where I have it right now. The tables look good. They play good. I've got the DMDs all working. I got all the back glasses dialed in just the way I want them. Everything sounds good. I did have to install the DMD into the power supply of the PC. So I have a Molex to SATA, or no, actually it's Molex to, I forget, is it like an 8-pin connector or something on the PC power supply? So that was kind of interesting. I actually have to feed it through the front there. I couldn't get a good spot to feed that wire out of the PC, but that's okay because that's all going to be inside the cabinet and no mage at all. So yeah, that's where I'm at with the virtual pinball machine. And I did get an email yesterday from Rec Room Masters, and good news, my table is in the mail. So it's going to be 4 boxes, and I think it's a total of 185 pounds, it says. And that's going to be arriving Monday, is my understanding. So I can't wait for that, because then I'll bring those boxes up here. I'll put it all together. I'll put everything into the cabinet, and then since everything's already configured, hopefully all will go well, and voila, one virtual pinball machine. And I'm very excited about that. And I've really been enjoying this. Just even playing it like this, I've been getting a lot of entertainment value out of playing some pinball on the floor with a keyboard. So I can only imagine once this is up off the ground and I actually have some real pinball flippers, that's going to be great. I can't wait for that. And one more big change up here. I've been talking about this for quite a while. And I've been mentioning that over by the Mortal Kombat cabinet, I purchased something extra special that I was having framed, and it is here, and it is on the wall. So here we go, the big reveal. It's pretty awesome. There it is, one Street Fighter movie poster signed by Jean-Claude Van Damme, which is pretty cool. And there he is signing the poster and the certificate of authenticity and everything. And there's his signature. And I think the framers nailed it. They did a really good job. I'm super happy with it. It matches the poster well. And I just thought that'd be a kind of a cool, special little item to go here next to the Mortal Kombat. You know, back in the day, it was Mortal Kombat and Street Fighter. Those were the two, as far as fighting games, you know, those were the two big dogs. And ones when you go to the arcade, you'd play both of those. Now, this is obviously is the movie, which I enjoy because I like cheesy movies of that era, and I really like Jean-Claude Van Damme and action heroes from that era. So to me, this is awesome. I know a lot of people don't like this movie, but that's okay. I think it looks very cool here. And yeah, that wall has something to look at now. So there it is. Very cool. I love it. So this game room is coming along. It's almost done. Once this pinball machine is installed and put together, this game room done, or this game room is going to be done. The retro room is going to be done, at least for this year, leading up to the full game room tour on January 1st. So, yay, what do you think, Oscar? Do you like it? Yeah, he likes it. All right, everyone, so this is going to end part 2 of more retro room upgrades. And in part 3, we'll share basically putting the pinball machine together and the final results. All right, thank you so much for watching, and until next time, bye.